Yeah.
Which one?
Streaming.
Sorry, okay. Hang on a minute, I'll take you outside.
I think there's probably no audio because I'm not speaking yet. I could be wrong. How are we doing, I wonder? Give me back to the browser to have a look here. It's first time streamer. Can you all hear me now? Just the normal chaos. So just bear with me. Hopefully that should now be following me. And hopefully you should be able to see me now. Low audio. Low audio. Is that because the mic? Properties. It's on the correct microphone. No audio. For the love of... Okay. We can't. Yes, we can. You should be able to hear me. I don't understand why the audio is so low. Very faint. Okay. Okay, let's try that. How much better is that? Can you hear me now? 1, 2, 3, and all of that kind of stuff. Similar, for goodness sake. Everything is really loud here as far as the meter's concerned. I don't understand why. Well, you won't panic, honest. 1, 2, 3, and all of that kind of stuff. Still just at the edge of perceptible, which is absolutely ridiculous. Because you should be able to hear me, unless, what have I done? What about now? Is that any better? Everything is now turned all the way up, so unless I've adjusted it somewhere else, microphone privacy settings, yeah. What, the volume is good, or the last comment you were replying to was good? Volume mixer. Oh, okay. Let's try that. Input device. Has that made a difference now? Okay. This is not ideal, is it? Let's turn. Yeah, get an echo from there. So my one's okay. It's strange. Okay. Well, if it gets worse, let me know, and I'll stop and start the broadcast again. Because yeah, we're not really doing anything special today, folks. It's just that this all started yesterday. I've bought myself. Let me start. I have a Pokemon 2DS XL that I brought a long time ago, and when I was repairing it, I didn't have the original top panel for it. So I was just going through my collection again and discovered that I didn't have the correct top panel for it. I'd just forgotten about it. So I've bought the correct thing. The bottom of the one that I brought is a bit janky. So I'm swapping the top screen onto my normal one. And yes, just kind of bear with. Nothing special. Just chat amongst yourselves. And she'll get a translator in to read, apparently. Why is it so bad? That's annoying. Microscope's fine. Face cam, we don't need. Alerts above. Yeah, it's. Why has it all got to be such a disaster? And does anything work now? Because I had things like that working yesterday. Oh, there you go. So some of it is working, and some of it is not. And Stream Element says it does work, and then something else says it's not available. So if I say that and do that, does that work, or does that say no? Is Stream Elements working with me, or is it working against me? Very doubtful. Right, okay, so some of the elements are working, except for the microphone, which is nice. We don't really need a microphone, do we? Honestly, move the microphone a bit closer. Check once more that I don't have any dubious settings on it. I can put it right up to my my head, but we don't really want to do that. Yeah. Sorry. So you can't hear me. This is all very odd. What can I do? I will change. Let me see. If I change, and I change it over to if I change it right to my head, but we don't here. Do that. Does that make any difference or not? Can you hear me any clearer on that microphone? Thanks. I've swapped to another microphone, so okay. We're now on the Instalink cam microphone, so we'll just have to go with that, I suppose. I'll turn the other one off before I forget. Hopefully. Come on, go off. Because if you don't go off, I've hit the wrong one. There you go, it's off. Good. No, it's not off. Off? It is off. Okay. So we're using the Instalink now. And everything else is throwing a fit. I'm going to go over to the Ozbot a minute. No, we're going to go to Instalink. And I'm going to reorganize that, get it to go in the right place because it's currently having a sulk. And I'm just going to wave you all over the place a minute. And try and see what's going on here. I spent absolutely ages with this yesterday, trying to improve things. And the minute you start streaming, what are you doing? Stop swapping things around. Yeah, the minute you start streaming, it all goes to pot. Very odd. In. Too close. Out. Shake it all about. And yeah. So, like I said, just bear with this. Always seems to be at the start of my streams. I always seem to be apologising, don't I? Not really very good. Update preset. Okay. Better on death. Sorry. Right, okay, yes. So what we have is my current 2DS XL Pokemon Pokeball edition has a custom top on it. They're supposed to be red. Well, you can see just there. It's supposed to be red, but because when I bought it, the red part top of the shell was cracked. So I had to fit a black one. You can't get hold of the red ones anymore. Let's come out a bit, I think. Away from the desk. We don't need to be that close at this point. And yeah. Anyway, hello everyone. How are you? Nice to see you. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace this on this so that it's now a proper Pokemon. And then at some point in the future, we will get round to, oh, by the way, screwdriver. Still turning. Still turning. Still turning. And still going. Absolutely love it. Yes. And we will take the back off of this, but not with that, because it's a tri-wing. And undo the screws, hopefully, from the back of this. Hoping you can see everything. Got a few angles there, and I'm hoping I'm not getting anything. Yep, no, you can see it. Okay. Wow. My browser is well behind what I'm actually doing. Softly spoken cows. Well, I'm actually not. Actually being quite loud. But one of my settings is obviously out of whack somewhere. And I'm going to have to find out what that is. Nevertheless, I'm going to stream. I'm not going to worry about it. And yeah, just chill basically. I refuse to get stressed. Pitco, I'm hoping I'm not showing 2 streams now because I did actually shut one of them off. So yeah, I've got Twitch going, hopefully, and 1 YouTube. If I've got 2 going, let me know. Yes, OBS meter looks normal. In fact, we're edging into the red, so I don't understand why it's quiet. So If I am still running 2 streams, let me know, and I won't do anything about it whatsoever because I have no clue how to. So basically we're just going to take these tri-ring screws out, take the back off. When you take the back off, you have to lift it up carefully because there's the camera ribbon and the 2 speaker cable ribbon. And I know one of you, I think was it Sloth Tech or someone else, had actually asked about the 2DS XL because they were going to work on one. So I thought on that basis it made sense to stream it. Let me know if you can see it, or if I need to. Tell you what, I'm going to make this overview window a bit smaller if I can remember how to, because it's getting in the way a bit there. Okay, there, transition. Okay, made that a bit smaller. Am I playing my stream in the background on another device? All I have is, I do have the browser. Let me put the volume down on that. Okay, whatever was going on, does that help? Because I've just turned the volume down on my browser all the way. I'm assuming that meant you were getting some kind of echo. And then I'm going to want to get in under here. Hello, BridsTech. Good, cool. Thank you, JFix. So I don't feel stressed until the moment I hit that camera and it all goes pear-shaped. Now we just need to get in there. I'm just going to make sure I have taken all the screws out. I have taken all the screws out. Okay, and then we need to persuade this back case off. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. My browser has actually, oh no, there you go. Hasn't frozen, I've stopped it. Trying to watch what I'm doing at the same time as well. So we need to get into the back of this, which can be a bit of a faff, and you have to be careful because you don't want to take out the switches at the same time. They're very fragile. Again, the one I did off stream yesterday, no problem. Straight away, because I'm doing this in front of everyone, it's fighting with me. Because why not? And I don't want to use a metal implement because the plastic marks really easily. In fact, normally I don't even have to use that. It's been a while. So let's try this way around. There you go. Take that in there. Bring it out over the front. Without breaking it, preferably. Why are you fighting me so much? Let's take the stylus out just in case. Well, that shouldn't make any difference. And there is no SD card in there. But you do have to be really careful. In fact, don't forget to put your volume knob all the way forward. Otherwise you can end up breaking that as well on these. Quite understand. Oh well. It's the back, and then the back. Come on, you should be lifting off now. Again, you need to be careful because at the back, if you go in too far, you can take out the switches, and it should not be this difficult to take off. Checking for screws again. No, definitely no screws in. Normally you can take the front off, push back, and then run your spudger down the back, and it should just come off fine. This one, for some reason, does not want to come off. So literally, here's one we did not prepare earlier. And I'm glad that it's making me look so good. Oh yeah, he knows what he's doing. You can tell by the way he took that apart. How professional. Hey ho, what is going on? Yeah, I have muted. You can still hear the echo in the background. How weird. Right, I've muted that as well. Hopefully that should cut it all out. You're watching on your phone, Chill. Nice. Has that stopped the echo completely now? Because if there's still an echo, I have to wonder what on earth is going on. Desktop audio, let's put that down. Okay, I'll put the desktop audio down in OBS and on the browser. Hopefully that's okay now. It's Bonkle. Hello, hiya. Basically, yes, unless you know someone that can change the RAM over. You can hear me now. Oh, okay. Well, maybe it was the desktop audio that was getting in the way then. Sorry, we took. Let me turn it down a bit. Is that still okay? Cool. Okay. Good. Thank goodness for that. That didn't take very long, did it? Not at all. Yes, Bonkle. Sorry about that. Yeah, if the RAM is returning errors, there is no way you're going to get around that unless you've got some severe corrosion around the RAM area. Other than changing the RAM over on it, which is quite a bit of a job. A BGA, have you got a microscope? You know how to microsolder, so I'm assuming you have. Yes. Can I start over again now? Let me show you. Hang on. Excuse me, dog. Thank you. Right, that's the wrong board. Bear with. So you're talking about this kind of going to scope, and hopefully we're transitioning. No, we're not transitioning at all because we don't have scope up. Oh, that's all kind of, oh, okay, let's forget that. Coming out of scope. You need to go to scope. Transition to scope. And the scope is also playing about. Let's go back to overhead cam and come in a bit closer. So, and then we need to move you down because, as I said, everything is just mucking about. Yeah, that's me. Hello, me. Easier if I do that. So I'm going to bring the board in. Oh my gosh. Yes. It is not easy at all on these boards. And there's tape in the way now, Chaz. You're looking really unprofessional. You'll have to excuse me, but trouble is, what I'm looking at is not the same as what you're looking at. So getting the getting the direction right is not right. Basically, look, just abandon that, Chaz. You're making a fool of yourself. Basically, yes, it is a hard job. It's not easy at all. And if you haven't had, right, okay, other than the solder balls and stuff like that, the solder balls and stuff like that is a whole thing in itself. You've got nothing to lose at this point. Shaker vision, yes. But it's not easy, and you are going to need to practice. Whether you choose to use the 2DS XL RAM as that practice is up to you. And then obviously you've either got to learn how to either paste or do solder balls. But you sound like you're fairly sensible. Let's see why you shouldn't have a go at it. And that's if the RAM's okay, obviously. It could be that it's not the RAM, not the balls that have separated from the motherboard, but that the RAM is faulty. A spider under the keyboard. In which case you need to get hold of some more RAM. And I honestly have no idea where to get RAM from. And we still haven't got this apart, so this is going really, really well. I need to look at OBS. Thank you. Now, why? Plug that in again. I'm just fiddling around here, peoples. I'm going to shut down the microscope again, open up the microscope. Yeah, sorry about that. Your best bet is to look online. And there are some 2DS XL boards online at the moment in eBay that are faulty, that are about between 20 to 40 quid, I think. Thank you. Yeah. I haven't. I'm trying to do too many things at once here. And not getting anywhere. Just look at that pretty red for a minute. I'll be right with you. Okay, so does the microscope now work? Of sorts. Brightness. Going back to OBS. Okay, quick transition between the microscope. Just, yeah, okay, that does work. And now I need to come back out on Osbot. And as I say, everything is now misbehaving itself. That's what you get for touching it. And why? Honestly, I have no clue at the moment. One moment, you're completely in control. And the next, chaos. And somehow doing that, I'm touching it. That there, not there. I'm touching a button somewhere that's flipping everything around. Okay, let's just leave that there, shall we? No, we can't, because we're at an angle. Oh my gosh, it's chaos. This on my desk is actually straight at the moment, so this is all very odd. There you go. Yes, it really is. It really is at the moment, Pitco. So we are back where we were. Now I need to reset that. Update preset, because the minute I touch that, it's going to go whoop and point towards me for some reason. What on earth are you doing? Just what? Focus. Come on, in focus, please. Thank you. So I need to update that, and then the minute I touch that, it's going to go whizzing back, go into a different position. Obviously, I'm not touching it. Right, okay. Let's try and get back to where we were. and come out a bit so that we can at least see what I'm doing and carry on. Okay, so rather shoddily, yep, okay, that'll do. Can everyone see? You happy with that? Is it it's not, it's a Instalink 360. The Ozbot is for the face cam over here, which is tracking and working its magic and behaving itself. But for some reason up here, that was all going a bit rubbish, which is obviously my fault. I've done something wrong somewhere, but let's try and take this apart. Let's actually do something, because there's going to be large lumps I'm chopping off the front of this video later on. Otherwise, people are just going to be subjected to rubbish. Right, why are you not coming off? Because you're over there. There is nothing in there to keep you in place. There is no reason why it should be doing this. Because, you know, here's one I prepared earlier. I have taken one apart without any problems. Yes, Chill, it is the same as yours, and it's not behaving at the moment. It's not behaving. But it was earlier, and it has been right up to the moment of the streaming. Same as this console. Should be no problem in this coming off. So, yeah. There's that. And number, the dog's just had something to eat. Has now got the zoomies, as you can hear. So you will all be deaf in a minute. And no, we are just not getting into that. And I have no idea why. Almost as if there's glue or something in it. And I definitely do not remember having put glue in there. Yep, absolutely, yeah. Because why not? So we can just watch me struggling with this for ages and ages and ages, and then go, well, that was a good stream. Well done, Chaz. Dog's still running backwards and forwards. Hammer works well. Yeah, I'm getting there, Pitco. Rapidly. As I say, that there is no reason. I don't want to force it because they break easily. But also, there's no reason why it shouldn't be coming off. Should never be the need for this. Never, ever, ever. And also, because the volume slider locates in here, and if you're not careful, it breaks the knob off and you have to change the volume slider on the printed circuit board. Should be able to get in there. And slide along there and just disconnect it without any of this fuss. It's ridiculous. Okay. Wow. I have to say, I did come close to losing my temper there. Okay. So, as you can see, hopefully, if I hold that in the right place, you've got your camera ribbon down here, and then either side you've got your speaker connections here and here. Pick on. Yes, lots and lots of times. Lots and lots and lots. And then the ribbon cable. I'm doing that from there. Taking that off. Wow. That was just stupidly difficult, and I don't know why. What normally happens on these, if I can get that in focus, is that these switches, that's the power switch, Chaz. No, it's not. It's the trigger switch. Again, it's because this is showing it back to front. Here are your switches for your trigger shoulder button. So you've got your outer shoulder button, inner shoulder button, and then the same on this side. And people get enthusiastic with them. They've got no shield on them, like the early DS lights and things had to keep them in place. So they push backwards, and then when they go backwards, they take all the trace with them. And I have actually got, I think the Minecraft one I've got here, one of the buttons isn't working on it, and that's probably what's happened. And then this end, good Lord, is your volume slider. And another common thing is people don't line the volume slider up with the knob when they put it back together again. And they snap it off, so you have to desolder this. That's a whole epitaph in itself. Right, there is a SD card here, and I bet that was part of the reason why I couldn't get the thing off. But it was catching on it. I should have taken that out. So yes, so now we have to, what were we doing? Now we have to take the screen off. And I'm going to zoom in a bit for that. Because this isn't like 3DSs and things like that. Theoretically, you do not have to take everything apart. And I'm going to the overview cam. I'm going to get rid of for now. Cam. Like so. Just so you've got a better picture. So we are going to start off with disconnecting all of the ribbons, because we are going to take the motherboard out just to make things easy for myself. If you have the skill and you don't have the shaky hands like I seem to have a lot lately, you don't need to do that. What you can do, in fact, is just take this out, wind this ribbon round carefully, and then push it back through the hinge, which you'll see in a little while after I've taken the motherboard out. Like I said, I don't trust my hands at the moment. They're shaky quite a lot of the time. Part of the reason for that, by the way, is I have a, for some reason, 4 years on, post-transplant, I have a higher alt/iron level. Normal person's is around between 0 and 40. Mine is currently about 230. And I'm having to be purged of blood every 4 to 5 weeks to try and dilute my blood to get it down, because obviously it's attacking my liver, it's attacking all my joints and everything at the moment. Not doing me any good, and I'm not having a lot of fun. But you know, other than that, everything's fine. Okay, take that off. This is the Wi-Fi area. And come on, over. Alcohol. Yeah, alcohol seems like a good idea, doesn't it? Unfortunately, I'm on so many meds. Alcohol is not, take the digitizer one off as well. It's not viable either. The amount of meds I'm taking, it's almost breakfast. Digitizer cable out, put this back. You also have to remember on these that not to, where's me, so many things open. On a lot of, and I've said this before, I know, on a lot of the other consoles, most of them are like this one, which is the lift up flap. So you lift this up, take the ribbon cable out, and then put it back down. But on the 2DS XLs and the new 3DSs, a lot of them are instead just they're just push-in ones, like so. And you can't really see that on there. So let's risk a transition. Back here, and select that there. Rain coming from Mr. Swindon. Oh, thank you. Turn that up. And let's move these out the way. So, turn that up even further. So I'm hoping that in a minute will give you a better picture of the cable. It won't, because that's so dark. What is going on? Brightness and auto white balance. Why is that so dark? Okay. It's not really not behaving itself. Now I've got this all the way up, that's all the way up. That's on there. Auto exposure. Let's alter that. Okay. So now you should be able to see. This is your push type connector. So you just put the cable up to it and literally just push it in there like this. And what people tend to do is they tend to think it's like the old type connector, which is the one over here where you lift the flap up to release the cable, but it's not. Basically what you do, if you end up trying to lift this up, you just destroy the connector and then you have to fit a new one. And that's why a lot of the new 3DSs on eBay that say took it apart, went to put it back together again, and it no longer worked, just the blue light came on and went off again. That was what went wrong. Hello, Steve-O. Yes, Grass Puddle, hello, how you doing? Mutation process. Spider villain, yeah, probably. So yes, let's go back to the overhead, like so, and move that out the way. Overhead cam, Mr. Mott. That's it, we are there. Okay, good. And continue doing what we were doing and zoom out again a bit. Okay. So zooming out. So, okay, here we are. So we will continue on with taking the motherboard off. I'll take the joystick off. The joystick screws are the longest screws. It's very hard to get these ones wrong out of all of this. In fact, the 2DS XL, in terms of where the screws go, is quite easily, because you've got the ones that go in the motherboard. Are you going to focus in on that, I wonder? No, you're not. I like these goldy ones. And the ones that go on the joystick, there's only two of, I like the longest ones there. And then obviously the ones that come off the case at the back are the tri-wing black ones. So you can't confuse those anyway. Like so. Yes. it is nice just to be able to weigh things in front of the cam and have it focus. So let's take the rest of these screws out. Hello, Greg. Hiya, TFN. How you doing? Not quite so panicky now. I've actually managed to get the case off the back of it. The bottom screen, top screen, rather, ribbon cable, we have not taken out yet. Okay. Thank you. That is out. The digitizer is out. The camera is out. The microphone cable is off. The bottom screen is off. And also one of these, I think it's this one, is the near field thing for near fielding. Again, running out of words. Screw around the batteries. Near field coil. There you go. That'll do. Shouldn't you disconnect the battery? Yeah. The battery is going to be disconnected in a minute. But it's not really a worry. There's nothing that you're going to touch doing this when you've had it together as many times as one has. And then you lift like so. There's your battery with the holder, and there's your battery contacts up here. And I don't know if I can get it close enough to see. The horizontal, let's get a pair of tweezers, not drop the screwdriver on me. The horizontal, I'm not doing very well here. This component here, that's your battery fuse, just there. And then on the charger, come on, Chaz. The charger, the fuse is on the other side, if I remember rightly. So let's continue on. I think we've got the screws out. I'm just checking. And we need to take the joystick off. Take the washer off. Doing a test lift without shaking. One more screw. PCDD, hello, how are you doing? Hopefully you got home without any dramas. And then you're lifting it up carefully because you've got the joystick here, which isn't screwed down on the 2DS XL. It is on the new 3DSs. And we'll just put that out the way. And then we're going to open the case up to the last click about there-ish. Put that out of the way. And then I'm going to zoom in again. And then we need to, ouch, we need to not stab ourselves, okay? Stabbing ourselves is not a good idea. We need to persuade this barrel out. Again, the one I took apart yesterday came straight out. This is not going to do that because I'm on stream, so we could be here for several hours. Yeah, no, it's not going to. And this is how the tweezers get bent. Okay, where's my IPA? Just going to drop a little bit of IPA down there to lubricate it, see if that makes any difference. As I said, any other time, it will just slide straight out. But we are on stream. that kind of thing doesn't happen on stream. Use a screwdriver, yeah. Normally I don't need to do that. I guarantee if it won't come out that easily, using the screwdriver will not make it much easier either. I'm just in for a fight, apparently. And out of all of the consoles, it's the worst one to get out. Because the rest of them all have a method for removing this. And this one, you have to lever it out. It's just awful. You can push from the other end on all the rest of them. It's going to take these buttons out. And hopefully not drop them everywhere. I'll tell you what, I definitely feel a lot hotter than I felt half an hour ago. I am sweating now. Okay. Yes, I thought JFix and PCDD were really good today. It was very entertaining and informative watch. Unlike this stream, where nothing is going right. There is no reason why it should not just be sliding out. Like I said, after having struggled that much with getting the back off, nothing is surprising me at this point. And it should definitely not be doing that to the tweezers. But I can't get the screwdriver in the gap. More IPA. Mott repair, yes. Or a non-Mott repair at this point. Come on, Dong. Talk amongst yourselves, you know, have some dinner. Anything at this point, I think. Because this is not happening. It's no good doing that. I'm just going to go round and round in circles for a while. What I don't want to do is, do you know what? Is break the plastic. There you go, at last. Just had to be a bit brutal with it. Okay, and then before we go anywhere else, you need to fold that up, or we will damage the cable. Honestly, I was just starting to think that wasn't going to happen. Use the hair clip, as I do with lots of other stuff, just to fold it up and then pull it through. I don't know if you got that, but for me, the hair clip just makes everything so much easier. Now we're back to shaky hands again. I'm just going to undo all this. Also, the 2DS XL ribbon is the only one that goes around this way. All the other consoles, you wind it around the other way. It's very counterintuitive when you do the first ones. Just going to get that back round so that it's ready to put back on the other one, like so. And you can't see any of that, so that's good. We're here. I just wound it round with my fingers that time, and then I'm going to try and put the sleeve back over it, which is out of sight at the moment, like so. Whether it stays there is another matter. Okay, so that is the custom top that I'd made. Put that out of the way for a minute. And then the top proper is this one. And we'll zoom back out again. Ruggers, oh, thank you very much. Anything that keeps anyone on channel after this kind of disaster. You have my sympathy. So, we come back in on this side. We want to feed the aerial cable through. Wi-Fi aerial cable through here. And then this is the fun bit, because this can either go right or very wrong, and you kind of have to wiggle it around, being careful of the ribbon cable. And sometimes what can be best is if that metal barrel was actually loose, you kind of have it a little bit floppy between the two. And again, what I don't want to do is to have the ribbon cable come out, and it's just about to do that. So like this, that's it, because it was loose. Okay, like so. We on screen we are, and then we can open it back up and making sure it's on screen there. Then we should be able to get the hinge barrel back in like so. See how much easier that was? No mucking about with that. And then it opens and closes properly. What keeps it in place is the bottom cover. When you put the bottom cover on, so there's the ribbon still folded up at this point, and then come on, over, and then there's the barrel in place at the other end. Just reading chat. Roy's Repairs, hello Portafix as well. Thank you very much for coming and visiting. Very, very appreciated. I think that could be worse than watching Russie. Cover your bottom. Yeah, I know. Sorry, it's all hanging out, isn't it? So now you need to start putting the motherboard back on and put my buttons back in. I've spread to the winds everywhere, and put that back on the screen so that you can see what I'm doing. So D-pad, then the X goes at the top, Y goes at the side of the screen, And this is the same configuration on all of the consoles, which is the only reason that I can remember it. And then B goes at the bottom. Lurking and working. Hiya, Sushi. How you doing? Rusty Russ is the best. And I'm not even looking at the thing. I'm going to say it properly this time. Rusty Russ is the best. The best! And A goes at the outside. And then we're going to put the membranes back on again. Like so. And we're not going to put the membrane on upside down because that would be silly. Then we're going to put the home button on, if I can get hold of it. And you can't get the home button wrong because, as you can see, it's oval at the top, so it doesn't fit in there the wrong way around. Although apparently you can get it dislodged. Get in there, thank you. Okay, and then the membrane back on that, which is also oval, and therefore theoretically difficult to get wrong. And then your two start and select buttons. Now these do have a cutout in them, but to be honest, I'm not really worked out where it should be yet. It doesn't seem to make a lot of difference. Put the membrane back on there. Russ knocks off caps. Yeah, but Craft Ben Mine did a really good job of finding that yesterday, didn't he? And it was worth it just to see Russ's face when it all fired up okay. And then we need to put the motherboard back in. Yeah, of course he knows what a cap is. He wears it above his vest. And then making sure that we have the joystick, thumbstick, call it what you will on there. Cap. Don't upset him. He might not show us his goats again. And then feeding the ribbon cables back through. So, bottom screen. I think you did really well keeping your cool, Rusty, yesterday. Because they were machine gun pelleting everywhere. I think you kept your cool very well. And then we want the near field coil ribbon cable up here. Before we do any more, we want to unfurl the top screen ribbon a bit, like so. And kind of, if we can, position it up to make it a little bit easier to connect it up again. I hope I'm not putting my head in the way. This has been about the most difficult part of putting any one of these together I've had yet. Just did not go right, did it, for a while? And then there's locating pegs that the circuit board sits down on. Is that a bit bright? Oh God, that's off, Chaz. Let's take the brightness down a bit. That might help. Hiya, Tolly. How you doing? So yes, and then we want to make sure that the digitizer cable is out there. And we'll worry about all this cabling in a minute. We're just going to put the screws back in once we know that we've got the cables in the right place, which I'm thinking we have, but probably will not be the case. So gold screws back in. making sure still that the cables are all out of the way. That one is not. So your camera ribbon. This one is your microphone ribbon. It's not a microphone ribbon, it's a microphone plug, Jazz. Happy Tuesday, yes. It's Tuesday afternoon. Well, it's Tuesday evening here now. It's 3 minutes past 6 already. The day has flown by. And then like I said, I started taking this apart yesterday evening, and I thought, oh, I know, this will make a good stream because, as I said, I think it was Sloth or someone else wanted to see it being done. So I stopped taking it apart and fired up OBS, went to go online, as you saw, which is why it came up on there. And then I kept getting NVENC errors, and OBS just would not start. And it didn't matter what I did to the graphics settings and streaming settings, it just stubbornly refused to do anything. So in the end, I had to delete the ini file and start all over again. Now we want to put that one in first. I'm going to put the bottom screen ribbon in. And then this morning, I eventually managed to get it all together. And well, you saw the mess that turned into. No idea what was going on with the mic. And why reducing the desktop settings made that much difference to the mic volume. I'm going to have to put the light back up because I can't see what I'm doing. So make sure the ribbon is up. Don't use that one. And if you're the type that doesn't have shaky hands, as I do at the moment, I think, believe it or not, after all of that, that the 2DS XL is actually one of the easiest consoles to work on in terms of taking things apart, because there's just large chunks at a time. It's not a problem once you've done a few and you've gotten used to doing it. But when you're fighting yourself, like I have been recently, it does make it a bit more difficult. I'm going to put that back in place so that I don't forget, and then I can put the screws back in, holding that and the board on. AI strikes again. AI strikes again. And I'm still fighting with Streamlabs and trying to get commands working. And when I do get commands working, they only seem to work when I do a transition. So I mean, obviously I'm doing something wrong. I just don't know what it was. And again, that might also, because I've deleted the ini file, it might actually make things work properly. Because when Russie and Sloth are both doing their videos, and they start selecting the video, and the video starts auto playing, and they say, right now, pause it. I don't get that. It wasn't happening. I wish, right? Yes. Yeah, I'm glad it's not just me then. Just making sure that that is in focus. Thank you, Roy. That makes me feel a bit better about myself. I've got quite a few other things to do, so I will be streaming a bit more. I've got, as I say, I've got to take the Minecraft one apart and mend the shoulder button switch on it, which will involve repairing traces, maybe, or just maybe putting the switch back on again and resoldering it, but doubtfully not. I've got the GBA SP that I've got the IPS screen for, and the shell case swap. I've got a Mario Luigi 3DS XL that I need to do a hinge panel change on. Quite a few bits kicking around at the moment, yes. So we want the washer in a minute. I'm going to put that there now so that I don't forget it. And there. Joystick back in. And after that, just check that it's in the middle, which you can't see. It is in the middle. There you go. Like so. My next check, especially when pinching tweezers, yes. Yeah, and my poor tweezers. I don't think I've got a pair of tweezers that have actually got straight ends on them anymore. I keep looking at them and thinking, they'll be really good. They'll never break. They'll never... Every one of them, I either break the point on it or I bend it. So I've got lots of tweezers, but they kind of ground off slightly. Sushi. Moo. So screws there. We need to push this connector back in because it's a push fit connector. My hands have stopped shaking. Really? Come along. Okay, that's as simple as that. And then the near field coil connector. Come on, get in there. You know you want to. You know you want to go in there. Just not now, apparently. Let me pull that through a little bit more. Make sure that I might have... Yes, that's better. I had that trapped under there slightly. Not a good thing. And then you kind of talk to it nicely. And eventually it pushes in like so. And then we need to put the top screen ribbon on. Lord. Lord above. Tum-ty-tum. Is that in? I do not know. Do I trust it? I think I do, actually. But what I will do is look at that under the microscope because I just can't see it properly otherwise. And in focus would be good, wouldn't it? No, it's not. It's not in properly at all.
That's what she said.
That, however, is improperly. Okay. No. Sorry, I'm getting comments from the wife in as much as that's what she said, etc. Now that needs to go under there, across there, over there, and then we'll put the bottom camera ribbon cable in. You can't see any of that around because we need to transition back out of that again and move that. Okay, where were we? Okay, bottom camera ribbon cable. The new bot was working great today. Yeah, it wasn't bad, was it? Thank you. I was slightly surprised, to be honest, to find myself as a mod because I hadn't remembered. I don't know if that happened today or any other day, but yeah, no, always happy to help. And then we need to get this cable down behind this piece of plastic, which keeps the microphone and the front camera in. Hello, Greg. How you doing? That needs to come out there. Again, fiddly. And then I've got to do this all again to put the other one back together again. Come along. And then this goes up in here. And there are actually pieces of plastic it goes up behind. He says, hopefully. Because normally what happens is I put them in there and then they'll come out again. And then I put them in there and then they'll come out again. Lift the latch for the digitizer cable. Obviously, haven't got the message about that, have you? I said, lift the latch, but there you go. And see if I can put the digitizer cable in without using the microscope. Is it possible, I asked myself. I think. Is it in? I think that's in. Just get, yep, okay. And then this, the Wi-Fi aerial, comes up here. I'm going to connect it first because it's easier that way. Oh, and note, I might have made that look easy with the battery, by the way, but if you take one of these apart for the first time, you cannot pull the battery off with the guard around it because it's actually double-sided sticky taped onto the circuit board. And generally what I do is I take the motherboard out with the battery still attached and then run some IPA around it, because obviously if you run IPA around it with the battery, with the motherboard on top of the screen, invariably what happens is it runs into the screen, behind the screen, and wrecks the screen. Ask me how I know. And then you think, where did all those dots on the screen come from? So far, so we should be able to put the battery back in now. Open it up, press the power button, and if we keep our fingers crossed, that's the blue button, the blue light on, that is the Wi-Fi light on. So it's checked the screens. We need to zoom out, don't we? So we are getting somewhere, so that everything comes back on. And what I have just noticed is that, having said that, the home button is not in the right place. I'm going to have to undo some of the circuit board to get it in the right place again. Slipped out while I was fiddling with things. If you can, oh good grief, which way am I going? That's not the right way. It is there, isn't it? I'm not imagining things. Yes, this side. You can see the button has slipped and the membrane slipped. So I'll just undo this bit a little bit. Take the screws back out of that side. And I'm hoping that will now enable me to have enough just to be able to get under there and wiggle things around. So that's the membrane, which is in fact not insane, but not in the right place either. Okay, make sure that the home button is in place properly this time. And then let's attempt to put this back in place. Hopefully that is now correct. And we'll put the screws back in again. CPU 3. So Retrofix Pro LLC. CPU. Hello CPU, how do you do? Oh, I see. Okay. Because obviously Chill's also got one called Retro Restore. I think I might have subscribed to your channel already. I could be wrong. I do try it wherever I can, or whenever I'm told to by Rusty Russ or JFix. I do need to add quite a lot of them onto the bottom of my channel descriptions though, because I try and put all our other subscribers' channel fixes and so on onto there, just so that people can see them. Watching the suffer of Nintendo, yes, absolutely. But this time we have that all correct. The D-pad is correct. The buttons are okay. Secondary joystick is okay. Select and start are okay. So for this one, hopefully, the battery back in, and then we need to select the right bottom. I think yeah, it's that one. This one should be mine. And again, it's just wipe bits of metal off to try and stop any more fingerprints appearing over time. As you can see, there are already some on there. Make sure that the volume slider is in the right place. And then round this way. You need to, like this. And there. What time did you want to do dinner? Okay. So not for a while yet then. So basically I'll take a quick break in a minute after I put this back on. Can peel the butternut squash for the missus? No, that's not. Oh my gosh, that sounded bad, didn't it? I can peel the missus's butternut squash for dinner and then come back and start putting the second one back together again. So that's the camera ribbon back on, and then you're not going to be able to see this bit really. First of all, coming over here, the volume slider, if you slide it all the way down, this end will lock into place. If you slide it the other end, it will just drop out. So you want to make sure that you've got the volume slider and the volume knob in the right place, or you will snap the volume slider. And obviously you've got the speakers here, which are a bit fiddly. And normally I would not do this at this angle because it's a lot easier not to, but I'm trying to, there you go, trying to do it so you can see it on screen. And again, this side, the other speaker. And here, shaky hands. In there. And then when you put it together, initially, again, check your volume slider. I tend to put it together there to start with. And then clip back into place to make sure you don't knock the switches off. And then bring the front up over the stylus and the headphone part. You can hear it all crack into place there. We'll be a bit loose at the back still. There you go. Put the screws back in again. Long linear tweezers. It's pretty hot. Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. It also helps when your hands aren't shaking as much, and I just have a lot of that. In fact, in most of my streams, I seem to be apologising for having shaky hands at the moment. Use that in. Being careful not to overdo it. Okay. Z-shaped tweezers work as well. Yeah, in fact, I've got some of those somewhere. Do need to get myself some. Actually, I'm still back. Could have been using these instead. Okay, that's 2. Thank you, Pico. I'd just like to appear professional just once and not come onto the stream in a blaze of disorder. That would be nice. Hi, Ariane. How you doing? YouTube keeps blocking my messages. Yeah, I have that happen sometimes as well. In fact, it happened earlier on JFix's channel, but only twice, I think. It's quite annoying. And then we'll put this stylus back in for now. And the SD card, which I put out the way there, I think. SD card in. And start it up again. After giving the screens a bit of a wipe. So now my Pokeball version is completely correct. Have the correct top and bottom on it. Is nice. Turn the overhead off again. Press the power button. No. Off the streams. I don't know what you mean, Pico. Blue light. yellow light for Wi-Fi, checking the Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi's okay, backlights are okay, and then coming on, checking volume is okay, and yes, check the triggers. Oh, come back out again, quit. That's better. One of them was stuck down, and I've just done it again. So sensitive. Quit. And then if you make them larger, then you should be able to use the inner triggers to go from side to side like so. If you can see that. So that one is back together. Yes. So that's one. Which means I can put that back in the case. Like so. And that can go back in the cupboard in a minute. That also then means I have the second one. Oh, I think it has actually, but because it didn't have the SD in, I think it has. That's all I'm going to say. So then we have the secondary one, which I'm going to put back on the bottom panel. Now this is the one that came with it, and it's got, someone's tried to put a screw in that's too large for it, which is why it's got that slight bump there. But it will sell at the price I got it for with that on there. I'm not really worried about it because it's a working 2DS XL. And I only bought it for it was about 123. It will go for about 130, or I could even just put this partially back together again and use the motherboard, the working motherboard, in one of many of these. I've got, well, you can't really see it there, but there's quite a few cases, including one of those purple ones that I've never got around to fitting anything on. So I could take my pick if I wanted, but just to get rid of it again, I'll probably put it back on the original bottom. In fact, I will do right now. Go away, make yourself a cup of tea, have a break a minute. I am going to go and do a quick job in the kitchen for the missus. So I'm just going to put you back on the stream start bit for now. And we're back in the room. Let's catch up on some of the chat for a little while. Queggy, how you doing? Nice to see you. Could have gone by now. It's taking me that long. Squishy. Joe. TFN, I'll give up on that Xbox for now. The 1.4. Right, yes, okay, now I've peeled the butternut squash. Been a good girl. Hello, where's the face cam gone off to? I've been a good girl, yeah. The camera's on tracking, so I went off towards the kitchen and it just kind of, wait, come back kind of thing. Okay. So now we have to put the second one back together again, but with the black screen on top. Let's come back out again a minute. I think we need to be quite as close for the second one. And there you go. So, start off with panicking. And then after we finish panicking, we feed the aerial cable through. And try not to destroy the ribbon cable in the process. So it is easier if you leave that loose, because then do this, get the angle right, put that down like that. See how much easier that was the second time round? And then opening it up, putting the barrel back in at the right angle, just like that. And on this one, I took the front camera out to make sure I didn't destroy the ribbon cable. So we'll put that back in again. Like so, there's a little slot that it engages with. If it will, right, you're here. Come on. How can you be so far out of whack? And if we just focus in a bit here, there you can see it has a slot that it engages on. So you've got your microphone on that side, the opaque one, and then the forward camera here. And come back in again a little bit, a teensy bit. Turn the light down one, that's better. And then we need to put the plastic strip back in place, back in place, like so. Line it up in the right place, and screwdriver and screws, 2 silver ones. Drop the screwdriver, try again. Okay, and the other one, I said the other one, there it is. In that hole, like so. The buttons are all still on there. And then this motherboard, which I didn't even bother taking the battery off of, because it's still stuck on there. And yeah, so what, let's try anyway. Okay, someone's definitely been at that one before. And what I want to do before I put this back together is just check the micro switches aren't falling off. So we'll come over to the microscope. Chill and Relax just started streaming. Cool. So scope, transition, and that is too much light. Oh, that has had, oh dear, some sort of work on that. Okay. So you've got the two outside ones bridged, which is in the middle and the outside. No, it's not, is it? Or is it? I need to get the meter on that, maybe. Because if they're bridged, it means it's going to be making all the time. Because the two outside contacts are earth, and the middle one is the signal, like this. Be honest. That's not best. That's not good at all. It needs to be soldered. Well, that's what happens. This becomes loose from the anchors on the outside, and then they continue pushing on it, and it pushes back against these traces, rips them off, and then stops working and just floats around loose inside, basically. So I'm just waiting for my soldering iron to heat up. Just going to disconnect the joystick temporarily. Obviously, feel free to go over and give Chill and Relax some support. Don't feel like you have to stay here, that's fine. I am happy with that. But thank you anyway for coming and visiting the stream regardless. What's that, CPU? Oh, okay. Thank you, Big Co. Now on this one, because we don't need, come on. I need to put some flock. No, that's fine. We don't need to put any braid on this or strengthen it because it hasn't actually ripped away. It's just come loose a bit. That needs a bit more. Disgustingly dirty tip. Swap A button and the X button. And this one. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with this one, to be honest. That's better. Or not. Oh dear. Right, okay. Quite a lot of solder on that. And I can't actually see it now with the fluxes on it. So I'm going to have to clean that off and have a look at that again in a minute. Because that button is definitely loose. Right, to grind some of that away. Let's solder mask over 3 pins and solder about thin will go to the ground. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, that has been one of the solutions I've used. But thank you. Yeah. But that is a bit rubbish, isn't it? As you can see, it's not held on at all. So we're going to remove that for now. I say that calmly as if I meant that to happen, but honestly, you can see that the middle signal trace is not there. Yes, broken trace. Yep, absolutely. Now I need to ask myself, where did I put the grinding pen? IPA again. No, absolutely. Yep, no, it's fine. I really do need to get myself a new few tips, I think. And let's put the speed of that up a bit. Here you have to be careful because there is a positive underneath there. And then, oh, what are you doing, Chaz? In fact, I'm not even going to do that. I'll just take a trace point straight from there in a moment. Bear with me, folks. We've got to the bit where I'm putting bits down and then forgetting where I've put them. Right, so Just going to have a look a minute. We're going to have a look at it upside down, apparently. You silly fool. If you look at these switches on that subject, you can see that this side is the top and this side is the bottom. And if you flick them like that, they go for miles. It did actually say in the listing that one of the buttons didn't work, but when I pressed it, it did work. So obviously it made momentarily, but I can see why it wasn't working now. And then those go back there. And then what you can do is the ones that are remaining, you can actually push those down a bit. Obviously, I've still got some solder on there at the moment, which I will remove first. Shaky hands again. I'll have to use some wick. I mean, some flux. Better. Yep. Now, does that look? Yeah. So you've actually got one, and this one here is no longer there. Over here we do have this here. So you could come down like this. For now, I'm not going to. I might finesse that off stream. I'm certainly not going to muck about with it too much on stream. Mostly because of nerves. So we have this and this. There's enough there still that you can make that contact without having to worry about. And then we will take a trace from here down to here, rather than trying to make the trace on this bit here and balancing between the earth either side. We will take it from there and straight down to here. And come on, down a bit. And if that could just stay there. And then if we need to, you can put a little bit of words Chaz. You can put a bit of resin around it to strengthen it should you need to, as long as the earth's strong. Watch this move around now. Or as CPU says, you can use the solar wick trick, which also works really, really well. I will put some more on this in a minute. Just want to see if I can. Nope, it's not on there yet. Let's use some flux. I haven't got enough solder on my iron, I don't think. No, I haven't got enough solder on my iron. Apologies, everyone. Again, it's that doing things in front of other people. I might have to put some solder wick on this after all. That's annoying. Right. And where is everything? I have to ask myself. There. Hey, Rossi. Not only that, where's the switch? There's the switch. Now I'm just mislaying everything everywhere. Everything everywhere all at once. So that's the bottom. You need to bring this round here. And you need to bring these down like so. And then completely miss the microscope so you don't know what you're doing. Try and stop the hands from shaking. Really? Chaz, what are you doing? Feel free to judge me, people. It's fine. Yes, come on. It's going to need so much washing out afterwards. Again, generally, if I was doing this by myself, I would not be making it look this difficult. And I've put those down too far, which is why it's fighting me. Come along. Okay. Thank you. Okay, that's that side on. Clean the tip off. Stop shaking. And that's back on. This side, we don't have much to go on. And we have to be careful of the positive. Now we may either need to put a wire on here if it doesn't take, and or, oh, missed the thing, a little bit of resin, or again the other, yeah, that is on there. Okay, so now let's have a look at that, shall we? Yes. Yeah, well, again, the first one I did of these, I had 3 of the switches and all of the traces were off. So as you say, it is a pain in the proverbial. I'm going to put a bit more solder on that leg on that side as well. I keep putting my cleaning rags down and forgetting where I've put them. Because it's only got a little bit on there. And we'll put some flux on as well. Just drop bits everywhere. Okay. Where's my blue tack? Just to get it up a little bit so I can see what I'm doing a bit more. And get those shaky hands in there. I think that should be better. Not that you can really see it in this light at the moment. And then we're going to, again, put some flux everywhere. Over here. And pin the pads. Take the blue tack back out now. For now. And on this particular one, if I can do it without going everywhere. Like so. You can even take it over on the other side if you want to. And then I need to find my wire. Yes, they do. Yeah. Game rage. Oh, look, the camera's following me. Am I up there? I'm down here. You need to follow me. Come on. It thinks I'm up there still. It likes the fan. I'm here. Down, down, down. That's better. Okay. Copper wire, which I'm going to need to tin, obviously. Like so, hopefully. Get that out of the way. The problem with this wire is that with my eyes at the moment, I can't see it without the microscope. That's rubbish.
You going with your new glasses?
I'm not wearing my new glasses.
Just be wearing your new glasses.
Yes, folks, I did get told off. No, that's bridged. Excuse me while I turn the brightness up a bit. Notice I've stopped speaking now. I've got to concentrate. Let's put some more solder on there, I think. Over here, come on. Because I can't with the flux over it. It's very difficult to to actually see where the wire's going. Probably better if I had the board and oh, no, not that one. It's nice that you've soldered really well to it, but it's not the right one. Oh, I'm going to clean that off a minute. Hang on, peeps, sorry. Okay. Wire. Stay still. Come on, over here. We'll have to hold it with the tweezers. Thing is, then what happens is I'll end up shaking with the tweezers instead. That is rubbish. I don't care how you go on it. That's fine. I'll cut the end off of it. Are you on there? You are. And then just make sure that we don't bridge. Cut the end of the wire off. And attempt to bring the wire around to a point that we can only just about see again. And stop shaking with the soldering iron. Attached or not attached? What do we think? Not attached. Clean the soldering iron tip again. Okay, that's attached. Scalpel over here. Okay. And as someone says, give it a nice clean. That didn't take long, did it, folks? Hello, Sloth Tech. How you doing? No, that's wrong. No. Why are we not? Oh, I don't have a keyboard. Have I turned the keyboard off? Oh, I have turned the keyboard off. That would explain it. Hi, Joe. I'm on. Hiya, I'm on stream at the moment. Oh, You heard it live here, folks. Dolly Partner's just died. Wow. Okay, I'll hand you to Mummy, okay? Wow. Rip Dolly Parton. Unbelievable. Let's try another one. Is it going to come back with a double command? That one says that, and then Stream Element says that. So, yeah, obviously I still have somewhere to go yet, Sloth. That was one of Nutty's scripts. Yeah, yeah, unbelievable. Okay, so let's clean this off a bit around here. Move some of this stuff out of the way, because I have bits everywhere now. That's a shame, because she was one of those people that you just thought was going to be around forever. Bit of an institution, really. Meter. I haven't got the meter running at the moment on screen. I just have it on beep. Yep, absolutely, Bristech, another legend gone completely. And we will check that the button works okay. First of all, obviously, we have from there, and then outside to there, and the other outside just to check it. Get on the connection, you Wally. Yeah, that works. This one, we will just check from middle to outside works. Middle to outside. And get a look at the other side as well while we're here. Yeah, I'll probably put a bit of solder on those while I'm at it. So the switches work, the connections are okay. Just need to put some solder mask on. And it does feel quite strong. I might just put a little bit of resin around it, around the ground connections. But it's very easy at this point to get carried away. Getting a little bit of resin out on the box. Tweezers. Yeah, and then I have to find where I put the resin, because I can never remember. I pour the resin on top of the box for all of them, and then harden it off, and then pour the next bit on there, and I'm forever dabbing around between the hardened bits and the bit I've just put on there. And some over. Just to strengthen them up a bit. And then on this side, obviously, I need to be a bit careful, because you watch, I say you need to be a bit careful, and then I'll pour it all over the fuse. Like so, a little bit more. And a little bit more. Clean that off a little bit. And then, first of all, I'll harden the bit off on top of the box before I forget about it. Did that need doing or not? Do we? Actually, yeah, let's put some on there as well. I'd rather be over the top than not enough. Just around the anchoring points. And then harden them off. For that, we're going to use what's the name of it? I'm going all quiet here. It's called the Divine Dragon UV fan, which JFix recommended. So I jumped at it. 1, 2, 3, and then over on the other switch. 1, 2, 3. It's good to know that I can at least count that far, isn't it? Let's just see if it's gone off at all. Yeah. Solid. And on this one, solid. Gone. Solid gone. And then on top of here. What's fun about these, they've also got a fan on it, which I'm sure you've seen before on other streamers, but it is absolutely mad. Let's transition back over. So that's the unit. If I get it under the camera, yeah, I mean, it's rechargeable, and it's got the UV obviously, but it's also got this mad fan on it as well. Not quite as mad as the ones they use for blowing the dust off of things, but it's not bad if you want to cure, if you want to keep it cool while it's curing, because you get an exothermic reaction, don't you, when you put the UV on the resin. Goes off really quickly and gets very hot. So where are we? We're on there. Can we go a bit closer without mucking everything up? No, we can't. Because for some reason it wants to look at me. And we don't want to be pointing at me. We want to be pointing down there. That is not an angle. What are you doing? And I know that I know there's a button on here I'm pressing. I don't know where it is because that is not straight on my desk now. Update preset for now. Anyway, right. Let's zoom back out again because you're talking to yourself and you're talking rubbish, Chaz. As you can see, that's straight and everything is off kilter now. Where is the button? Ooh. Just watch me. See what there is a button somewhere that I shouldn't be pressing. Oh, what's going on there? That's interesting. Nothing is moving. I don't know why that's doing that. What on earth? No technical problems here. Oh, so it is. You're right. Yes. Thank you for that. There I am. Thank you. And the face cam is having a bit of a fit. So I am going to shut that off a minute because that is just ridiculous. And restart it, I think. Which means minimizing everything. It's still doing it. Let's make sure that we did shut it down properly. What a wild ride, eh? And start it again. I have, yes, I have, Michael. But it's been mucking about for some reason. Probably through a fault of mine. Yes, can you see that? Why is that doing that? Because it's not moving. There is no... Oh, is it trying to hunt? Oh, okay. Now I understand why, I think. It's because it had reached the end of its travel and it was trying to self-correct. But it couldn't. It's on a ridiculous angle at the moment, though. Just do that. So, is it because that? No. Okay. Anyway, let's zoom back out again. And I need to have severe words with this setup before I come back online again.
Yes.
Dubstep music, yeah. Okay, so we've got this done. We've got the switch done. Just going to check that. We're going to check it now that we've done the resin, just to make sure that I haven't resin the inside of the switch up, because that would be embarrassing.
How far away is it where you are?
That's not the scope, is it? And just because we don't want everything to go wrong, everything has gone wrong. Now I've got to restart the microscope software. There. Reduce the brightness down. And over to the switch. You can't see any of that. I'm talking to myself. There you go. And we have done effectively nothing for the last 20 minutes. So we're going to get the meter out, just check it one more time, and then we'll get back to putting the thing together. Do 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 do. Can I actually get on them? That was okay. That was okay. Recheck this one again just to make absolutely sure. Okay, that's fine. We will now get back to putting it back together again. Full slug later. Yeah, I don't blame you. Thank you. Sorry about the disastrous goings on. So I need to come back over to Insta. Then we need to zoom out, and it's probably going to go all weird now. Like so. Because it just hates me apparently at the moment. Update the preset for where it is so I can switch between them and that. And then we need to take you over because, again, you can't see anything. There you go. Sorry, peoples. And then we are going to put the board back on at last. So between here, I'm going to put the bottom screen ribbon back in again. There. And then juggle the thing around until we can see the near field coil, which is way over there, which is why I can't see it. Pull that through. Make sure that everything here is out of the way. And we also need to make sure that we've pulled the top screen through and unfold it. And pulled that through this hole before we screw things down.
There are some people that obviously don't
Online. I mean, I'm repeating what my missus is saying now. Come on. I have been completely thrown by the way things have gone today. That's there, that's there. We need the digitizer cable, that's out there. Microphone cable is there. Wi-Fi aerial. Everything looks like it's in place. I check that the buttons are in place and haven't fallen out. And the membrane is in place. Correct. Now we put those screws back together again. No, nicely. You didn't tell me, did you, peeps? You nearly let me forget. I didn't put the secondary joystick on. So, secondary joystick goes inboard. I mean, not that you really could tell me much at the moment because there's no sound alerts here. Maybe you can wave frantically at the monitor, but it really isn't going to do anything, is it? Okay. So joystick is back on. Now we're going to feed everything back through again. I'm trying not to sound boring. Honest. Probably failing badly. Okay. Bottom screen, near field. And backlight from the bottom screen. Digitizer is there. Okay. Top screen ribbon needs to come through. Like so. Might even be worth just connecting it now. If I can do that, that is. Okay, now that is nearly in. Okay. Just make sure that's in. Okay, fine. So that's in. So bottom camera, make sure that the printed circuit board is sat on the lugs. And let's go for it. Screws. Oh, thanks, Michael. Just in time to let me know too. Every time I think that I've got the hang of things occur like they have in stream today, and I just think, I know nothing. Goes on there. Where's the shield? Really? Battery. There you go. Just the holder. Thank you. Goes like that. But we're going to put this ribbon cable on first because it makes it easier for the bottom screen. Oh, it's nice to have people being sarcastic to me for a change. God knows I'll take enough mickey everywhere else. I feel it's only fair. Don't sit there and feel sorry for me. Just join in. Look, cows would have done it to us. As long as it's giving you somewhere to chat or just to look at or think, oh my God, I'm glad I'm not that bad. It's all good. Oh, I'll tell you what isn't good. That is not good. Mm-hmm. Oh, that is so not good. Okay, right. I can't put this back together again yet, folks. So my dinner is going to be shortly, because the push connector on this one, unless I'm going blind, and I don't think I'm going. No, I'm not. I'll show you. Scope, transition. Remember those push connectors I was telling you about? Am I being blind or not? I'd rather be blind. If this is me being blind, that's good. But there's kind of there's no there's no bit there. No, I am not being blind. It's broken. It's got to come off and be replaced. Yes. And I've got to look for those. I've got no clue where they are. I know I've got some, but it needs replacing. So I'm going to have to take this all apart, and I'm not going to do that now, because for me this has been quite a long stream. And when I've found them, we can either pick up on this again tomorrow or whenever. No, you can't, because the latch, the plastic bit, actually has metal in it that can't. If you look here, these bits here have actually snapped. They come round and then up and over. So you can. I want to keep it original, to be honest. So I will do it. I'm just not going to do it online now. As you can see, I think that's what they had. They had it like that before, and hadn't mentioned it. So, okay. Let me have a look and see if I can find them quickly. Just hum amongst yourselves. Dinner is in about 15 minutes. Super glue. Somebody wants a slap. Super glue. Yeah, no, I need to find them, and they're not instantly findable. So I'm going to go through those later, and I'm going to say thank you very much anyway, for being with me and for watching all of that absolute chaos. Again, I'm going to have another look at my setup tonight, see if I can find out what on earth is going on and what all that mucking about was about. And yeah, thank you very much, people. It's been okay for me. I can't say it's been the best for you lot. Yeah, catch you later on. Let's see if we can end the stream properly. Thank you, Rusty, Sushi, Michael, JFix, CPU, especially for hanging around. Yeah, and Sloth Tech. In fact, a lot of people. Thank you very much all. Yeah, Briz Tech, Pitco. Thank you very much. And I'm ending the broadcast in, he says, hopefully, 3, 2, 1 now.